Never mind. It drops 278 gear. Let's go, dude. So we're going to get 278 gear. I love it.
So in this video, we're going to go over everything that is coming during the pre-patch event, the rewards, the event, what else is going on, and all that good stuff. Now, the bad news here, it does look like the pre-patch event is going to be after the actual pre-patch launches. We're probably going to get like a small period of time where we just get the talents in the UI, and then the event starts maybe 2 weeks after that. As of the recording of this video, we do not have a date for the pre-patch. The current rumor is October 25th, with this event potentially going live on the 8th of November or the 15th. But no doubt we're going to find out officially when this all happens. So let's talk about the Dragonflight pre-patch event. So the main part of this pre-patch event is Primal Storms, or elemental invasions. Now, if these do sound familiar, this is actually a feature of Dragonflight. These are going to be happening around the Dragon Isles, and I do have a full video going over that system. It's kind of like the main chunk of outdoor world content in Dragonflight, so if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the top right of the video right now, or in the description below. But the pre-patch iteration of these invasions is pretty interesting, and a little bit different as well. So these are going to be happening all around Azeroth, in 4 zones to be exact, in the Northern Barrens, Tearsfall Glades, Unguru Crater, and Badlands. Now, there are 4 different types of invasions that are going to happen. You have an Earth invasion, a Fire invasion, a Storm invasion, and a Water invasion. Now, these can occur in any of the 4 zones, and what will happen is certain areas of the map will kind of get these portals all around them, and the different elementals will come out, and you can kill these. Now, it basically seems like an endless supply of like trash NPCs that you can just kill endlessly. Now, as of the testing, it didn't look like there was any purpose to these small NPCs, maybe just gold farming or something like that. But the kind of main part of this are the bosses.
Wait a minute.
Every 30 minutes or so.
That's not true, because the bosses, once the bosses launch, once the boss comes out, you kill the mini ads, or you have to kill the mini ads to force the boss out, and then you kill the remaining ads to then start attacking him, I think.
So an elemental lord will come out of a portal and will have a protected barrier of 100 stacks on them. Now, to remove this barrier, it's pretty simple. You just have to kill the smaller NPCs in the area. You have to kill 100 of those, and once that is depleted, the boss will become attackable, and you can kill the boss with...
Yeah, so like I said, once the boss comes out, kill the ads, it gets rid of the shield around him, and then he becomes attackable. And this is what I was talking about. He's going to drop a new monetization that you collect to purchase the gear for your alts. I don't know if it's soulbound or not. I don't think it will be, because Dragonflight, I don't remember, or excuse me, Shadowlands, I don't remember if those were soulbound or not, but I think you could transfer them around. In fact, I know you could. Yeah, so most likely you're gonna be able to transfer these around so you can farm them up and get the gear you want.
Everybody in the area. When we did this on the PTR, there were tons of people around, so it was super fun, and I'd imagine this is going to be the case even more so when it does launch on the live realm, similar to the Shadowlands pre-patch of all the bosses there. So you can kill these bosses. It looks like you can endlessly kill them as well from the looks of things. It doesn't look like it has like a daily lockout or anything like that from the looks of things, but don't quote me on that. The event wasn't up long enough to really test this, so yeah, we'll have to see with that. Now, these bosses drop a couple of things, the main thing being Primeval Essence. Each of the elemental bosses looks like it drops around 10 to 20 Primeval Essence each time you kill them. This is a brand new currency that you're going to be using during the pre-patch to purchase some rewards.
Right, so these are the that Primeval Essence is going to be the monetization tool you're going to use to purchase that gear for your alts. So it's going to be 252 gear. And what I'm hoping is that they ramp that up, because 252 isn't really that strong. I'm hoping maybe they bump it up to maybe like 270 or something like that, perhaps, or 272 or something by the time it launches, which they could do. But let's just keep our normal hats on. No reason to put an aluminum cone on our head and assume anything, and we'll just say it's going to be 252 when it launches.
So let's talk about the rewards from the pre-patch. So as mentioned, Primeval Essence is going to be your main currency you're going to be using to purchase items. These items are purchasable from Storm Hunter William in the Borealis Docks in Stormwind, and Storm Huntress Soraka by the Zeppelin Tower in Durotar, the new Zeppelin Tower, over out the front of Orgrimmar. Now, the main item that these vendors will sell is item level 252 catch-up gear. Now, item level 252 would have been pretty good in Season 3, but with Season 4, it does seem kind of DOA. I have a feeling they might up the item level of these items potentially, but either way, you do kind of want to purchase them because they are a unique transmog.
Yeah.
Now, the appearance here is actually a recolor of the Dragonflight questing set that you're going to obtain through questing through the Dragon Isles. You have a cloth set, you have a leather set, you have a mail set, and of course you have a plate set. And as mentioned, this coloration does not look like it's available in Dragonflight, so it's definitely worth getting. Now, the items vary in price, so you're probably going to need around 25 to...
Yeah, that cloak actually looks really good. I like that cloak, and I'm wondering if plate set is bis. Yeah, I agree with that, Malachi. I think it's going to be... I really like that cloak. I think that the gear looks really cool, and you're going to be able to mix and match a lot of this gear with some of the current gear that we have in the game that you're going to be able to, especially if you're a big fan of transmogrification, you're going to be able to enjoy using some of these pieces to doctor up some of your other outfits or sets to kind of mix and match. I think it's going to be cool.
45 Primeval Essence for each gear piece. It also does include weapons, necklaces, rings, and trinkets if you do want to purchase it as catch-up gear. There is also a toy available called the Bag of Furious Winds. This is purchasable for...
Hold on a second. I want to go back and I want to show you guys something really quick while he had that up. So you see that catastrophic signet. Now, earlier in the video, he was showing that it dropped off that boss. That's what I was talking about a moment ago. Is some of this gear will drop off those bosses, so that's cool so that you don't have to utilize all this monetization tool, these Primeval Essences, to purchase them. There's a chance they're going to drop for you, which is really nice.
A toy available called the Bag of Furious Winds. This is purchasable for 100 Primeval Essence, and what it does is it vacuums critters. I didn't get enough time to buy it, unfortunately, but yeah, just take my word for it. Apparently it sucks in critters. There's a picture from Wowhead, shout out to Wowhead for this, it sucks in critters, which sounds pretty fun. So if you don't want the catch-up gear, if you don't want the transmog, you can save up 100 Primeval Essence and buy the Bag of Furious Winds. So these elemental bosses also have a chance to drop a couple of other things. They actually have a chance to drop this gear. They actually have a chance to drop the gear from the vendor. So if you don't want to go and farm the currency,
like I said, boys, it can drop it. You should thank the badass to drop. Man, I saw this video, but yeah, okay. Big shout out to the badass that dropped this in Discord. He knows who he is.
You can just farm the bosses and get the gear through that. In my experience,
appreciate you, Legend.
A pretty decent drop rate. We actually had one of the items drop during the PTR test, and as mentioned, it was a very short PTR test, so it seems pretty likely you are going to get a lot of these gear sets from just killing the elemental bosses, which is super handy, and yeah, it kind of gets rid of a lot of the kind of heavy grinding that you're going to be doing during the pre-patch event, especially with it being like, let's say, 2 weeks long. The other thing you're going to get, and definitely something you're probably going to want to focus on, is a brand new limited time heirloom. Now this
Oh, we're getting a new heirloom, boys. The usual. We're getting a new heirloom. Let's go.
Heirloom is called the Unstable Elemental Confluence. Now this is created by combining 4 items. These items drop from each of the elemental lords. They're called Dim Primeval Earth, Fire, Storm, and Water. And once you get all 4 of those, you can combine them, and that will create the brand new heirloom trinket. And it does, as mentioned, appear to be a one-time thing. However, there is a chance it could drop from the Primal Storms in the Dragon Isles, but they have disabled those for the time being, so we're not too sure on that specifically. But just to make sure, I would definitely try and get the brand new heirloom before the pre-patch event ends.
Okay, so you combine the different primals, the primevals that drop from the bosses to make the heirloom, which is cool. So it's not like a crazy hunt fest to get that. That's going to be really nice to be able to just go get the dimmed. Here, let me back it up. So you can actually see them. The dim primeval earth, fire, storm, and water to make that heirloom. So you got you a new heirloom that you can level up and utilize as you're leveling your alts. That's really cool. I like it.
Event ends. And finally, with the Primal Storms, there is a feat of strength. This feat of strength is pretty simple. It's just simply to kill each of the elemental lords, the earth, the fire, the storm, and the ice lord, and this will give you a brand new feat of strength called Against the Elements. No points from that, just a feat of strength saying yes, you participated in the Dragonflight pre-expansion event. So yeah, if you want to go get that, it's pretty simple, just kill each of the bosses. But that's not all for the pre-patch event. There's also going to be the revamped Alderman. So Alderman is getting a new wing called the Legacy of Tyr. This is actually going to be a high-level dungeon in Dragonflight, but for the pre-patch event, they're scaling it down to...
So they're going to rework an old dungeon to make into a new dungeon for Dragonflight, and that's going to be part of the pool. Is it going to be... The question is it going to be in Season 1 of the pool listing? I think it's cool that we're getting like a preview of it to be able to run in the meantime to kind of give us some insight. It's not in Season 1? Okay, but it will come into the pool list eventually, right? Obviously, so that's cool.
level 60 for you to do during the pre-patch event, which is actually really cool. So this is obviously located in the Badlands, but you can queue for it through the random dungeon finder, so you don't need to worry too much about that.
Okay, so we can
obviously
queue for
with the random dungeon finder, it isn't cross-faction, so if you do want to do it with cross-faction friends.
Hey, I wonder if it drops gear, if it's going to drop the 252 gear as an alternative source. That'd be really cool if it dropped that 252 gear that you're farming out into the open world. So after you've killed all the bosses for the day, I don't know if those bosses are going to be farmable over and over and over, or if it's just a daily drop, and then once you killed it for the day, you can't do it again until the next day. But that'd be really cool if the dungeon gives you an opportunity to get that gear.
I believe you will be able to just run there and do it as you would normally. Now, from the looks of things, the bosses here...
Oh, you can farm those bosses all day? Nice.
...will drop item level 278 gear. Now...
Never mind. It drops 278 gear. Let's go, dude. So we're going to get 278 gear. I love it.
This is obviously not going to be catch up for a lot of people, but it is cool. There is some really cool items in there. Definitely some cool appearances and some really awesome trinkets that have some unique effects. So if you want to get an early preview of the Alderman dungeon, you can do that during the pre-patch event. Obviously, that will go away once Dragonflight launches. It also appears in this kind of second phase of the pre-patch. You're also going to get Evokers. It doesn't look like Evokers are going to be there on day 1 of the pre-patch, but they are going to be in this kind of phase 2 pre-patch event time. So during the Primal invasions, during the Alderman stuff, you will also get access to the Drakthir Evoker class if you've pre-ordered Dragonflight. Once that's done, you can play your Evoker and you can do these events on an Evoker, which is going to be really cool to see them running around the world with us for the very first time. You can also go and get Shadowlands stuff with them. They have conduits and things like that. If you want to check out everything that's coming for the Drakthir Evoker and Shadowlands in the pre-patch event, I do have a video on that also. But yeah, that's it.
I don't, but he does.
Pre-patch event, pre-expansion event, Primal Storms, Alderman, and Evokers. Yeah, but I think this will change over the next couple of weeks, so maybe some of the details will change, so keep an eye on, you know, fan sites like MMO Champion, Wowhead, Icy Veins, etc. On any updates on specifics, but the general idea seems to be that it is going to be those 3 things coming in kind of the second phase of the...
Okay, so in phase 1, we're going to get our talents, UI changes. Really, I think that's about it, right? Is the talent change, getting adjusted to the talent changes, rebuilding your characters into their talent builds, and then the UI changes if you're interested in the UI changes. Obviously, if you're accustomed to iLvL UI or some kind of altered UI add-on, you know, this is an opportunity for you to shake it up, try something new with the new UI changes, or stay with what you know. I haven't 100%. I feel like I want to personally keep my UI because I'm used to it and I like the way it's set up, but there is a possibility I might play around with this for a moment, see if I like it better. You never say no to change, right? And then the second week is when we're starting to get the event where we can get this the gear and run the dungeons, which is really cool. It's going to give me an opportunity to run my alts through the dungeons and possibly pick up some 278 gear, which gives us that levy up. So it's a possibility. Knowing that now, with watching that, I really feel like they're not going to change that outer world gear from 252 up to a higher gear level, considering the dungeon's going to drop 278. That's just my honest opinion. What's up, Ori? Welcome in, man.
Pre-patch, when that is, again, we're going to find out very, very soon, but it does look like it is going to be around about mid-November time when we get access to this, about 2 or so weeks just before the expansion launches on November 28th.
Awesome. So again, guys, new heirloom, UI, 252 gear, 278 gear coming out of the new dungeon that we're going to be able to utilize in the second phase. And correct me if I'm wrong, right? Second phase, right? Second phase. Second phase, we get the dungeon, we get the Evoker, and we get the event. So I think that's really cool. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are too. Let's get it.